In business news this evening, the Paddy Marketing Board says that it has commenced purchasing paddy from 3 districts for the Yalla harvest season. The chairman of the Paddy Marketing Board, KB Jayasinghe, said that close to 100 metric tons of paddy have been purchased from the Ampara, Kurunegala and Anuradhapura districts under this program. He added that the purchasing of paddy from all provinces will commence at the end of this month. The Paddy Marketing Board expects to purchase about 100,000 metric tons of paddy this harvest season. Sri Lanka tourism statistics reveal that over 70,000 foreign tourists visited Sri Lanka last month. 2012 saw the highest number of tourist arrivals in Sri Lanka. However, tourist numbers fluctuate on a seasonal basis. This fluctuation does not bode well for those who rely on the industry for their daily bread and water.
These people who walk the beaches from dawn to dusk, rain or shine, rely on selling ornamental items to tourists to ensure their livelihoods. Their primary products are souvenirs the tourists can take back to remind them of Sri Lanka. The beauty of these well-crafted souvenirs do not, however, reflect the lives of these people.
We come here at about 9 in the morning and leave at about 7 in the evening. On some days, business is good, but on some days, we have no business at all. We go an entire day at times without making a sale. We have business only on the beach. We have been driven here to do this because of despair.
These hawkers say that there has been a decline in the number of tourists who visit the western coast.
They usually stay only for one night. The numbers have declined. They do not stay here because they can go to places like Chinkamali now.
Although their lives are hard, these people have been blessed with some skills that the average person does not possess. Several hawkers who spoke to us are fluent in German, Swiss and French.
Tall man, no? Oh, he's not so tall. Not as tall as mine. German fluent.
I am fluent in German and English. I am slightly fluent in other languages, but I can understand the languages. We learned these languages from a habit we picked up as children, not from school. I learned a little English from school, but most of it we learned from the beach. I know a little Swedish. The guests become very happy when we know their language because they are comfortable with us. Sometimes they will make a purchase.
These people believe that if a proper tourism program is initiated to ensure that tourists who come to the country are directed to the various attractions across the island, then their futures could be brighter.
Those who depend on the tourism industry say that in order to attract more tourists to Sri Lanka, an international propaganda campaign to raise awareness on Sri Lanka's natural beauty must be implemented.
සංචාරක කර්මාන්තයේ නිරත වෙලා ඉන්න පිරිස් පෙන්වා දෙන්නේ. නන්දන විමලසේන සමගින් මම ආයෝනා වික්‍රමසිංහ මීගමුව ඒත්තුකාලේ සංචාරක පුරවරේ සිට
20 Indian fishermen who illegally crossed the maritime boundary into Sri Lankan waters were arrested by the Sri Lanka Navy yesterday. Navy media spokesperson Commander Kosala Warnakulasuriya said the group of Indian fishermen were arrested in the seas of Thalemana yesterday. The Navy also seized 5 boats that the fishermen were travelling in. The Navy media spokesperson said the arrested fishermen were brought to the Thalemana. They were remanded until the 16th of August subsequent to being produced before the Mana magistrate. Meanwhile, Dravida Munnetra Kalaham Party President M. Karunanidhi has sought the Indian government's intervention to end increasing incidents of apprehending of Indian fishermen by the Sri Lankan Navy and also heed their request to fish near the island nation for a select period due to dwindling resources. He said, quote, every time such incidents happen, the state government takes up the matter with the centre, which in turn writes to the Sri Lankan envoy in India or that government, but they should not think the job is over by writing such letters. Unquote. He said during a meeting with the Minister of State of the Prime Minister's office, V. Narayanaswamy at Karaikal yesterday, fishermen had requested that they be permitted to fish in Sri Lankan waters during certain months. Moving on, Minister of Economic Development Basil Rajapaksa says that there will be no economic progress in a country if the law is not being enforced and there is unrest. He made this statement at an event held in Colombo today.
The National Conference of the Ratavirava Organisation, which was established island-wide recently, was held at the Nelumpokona Mahinda Rajapaksa Theatre in Colombo this morning.
අපි දන්නවා රටක ආර්ථිකයට දායකත්වයක් දක්වන්න විවිධ ක්‍රමවේදයන් තියෙනවා.
We know that there are various systems to support the economy of the country. It is a great strength to the economy if the law is being enforced to support the protection of the independence, sovereignty and territorial integrity of a country. If there is unrest in a country and the law is not being enforced and terrorism has raised its head, then there will be no economic progress in that country and the people will face many hardships.
තියෙනවා නම් ඒ රටේ ආර්ථිකය දියුණු වෙන වගේ නොවන වගේම ඒ රටේ ජනතාවට විශාල හිරිහැර කරදර සිදු වෙනවා.
Speaking at this event, Minister Dilan Pereira commented on a recent demonstration staged by the collective of licensed foreign employment agencies demanding the repeal of a number of circulars issued by the Foreign Employment Services Bureau.
අද බලපත්‍රලාභී විදේශ රැකියා නියෝජිත ආයතන
Today, those licensed agencies have declared war against us over the issuing of these circulars. Last week, they came to the Foreign Employment Services Bureau and chanted, "Dilan, go home."
ඩිලාන් ගෙදර යන්න කියලත් කියලා ගියේ. අපි ගෙදර යනවනේ කොහොමද ගෙදරනේ යන්න තියෙන්නේ. වෙන කොහෙත් යන්න නැහැ. හැබැයි අපි ගෙදර
Even if we have to go home, we will send domestic aids abroad in the future only after we receive the report on their family background. We will look at whether they have any children under the age of 5. Even if the children are over 5 years of age, we will look into the father's background and look into whether there are any relatives to look after the children before we send the mothers abroad. We will not repeal this circular.
ඒ චක්‍ර ලේඛනය කොයි විදිහකටවත් අපි ආපසු හකුලා ගන්නේ නැහැ.
A woman has been killed and 5 others injured after an earth embankment crashed down on a house in the Singhapiti area in Gampala. Indika Ranavira, the Assistant Director of the Kandy District Disaster Management Centre, said that the accident occurred at about 5 o'clock this evening. The injured have been admitted to the Gampala and Peradeniya hospitals. Meanwhile, minor flooding is being reported in several areas of the Nuwara district as a result of incessant heavy showers. District Secretary DPG Kumarasiri said that the spill gates of the Lakshapana, Mausakali and Cannon reservoirs have been open. On a related note, the Railways Control Room says that services on the Colombo-Dambulla line that were disrupted after an earth embankment collapsed onto the tracks in Rosella have now returned to normal.
Meanwhile, the Department of Meteorology says that the interior of the island may experience rainfall in excess of 100 millimeters in the coming 36 hours. The Met Department adds that wind speeds over the deep sea and shallow waters from Putlam to Pothaville via Colombo could reach between 60 to 80 kilometers per hour. The Met Department went on to say that several spells of showers will occur in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and southern provinces. Showers may also extend to the northwestern province. The department says that strong winds are expected over the country and neighbouring sea areas, particularly along the western slopes of the central hills. In addition, there may be temporary localized fairly strong winds during thunder showers.
Well, today's U-Report is filed by U-Reporter Sanjay Chaturanga from Alapatha on the inclement weather being experienced in the area.
The Alapatha and Pallavela areas in Ratnapura are experiencing severe flooding owing to the heavy rains. Water levels reach up to 2 feet in flooded areas.
ජලයෙන් යටවී ඇති ආකාරය දක්නට ලැබෙනවා. මම නිවුස් රිපෝටර් සංජය චතුරංග රත්නපුර ඇලපාත සිට.
World Karate champion and a 7th degree black belt James Sang Lee from the United States is now in Sri Lanka. Newsfirst Aaron Rajaratnam caught up with the martial arts grandmaster earlier in the day and asked him how he developed the love for the sport. Let's now take a look at the excerpts of the exclusive interview with James Lee.
I saw a Bruce Lee movie in 1976, and I was just fascinated. I thought to myself, "Pow!" I could do that. So that's how I started.
So recently I heard at the age of 42, if you don't mind me telling your age, I heard you were the oldest to win the US World title.
Yes.
And also the 4th time in a row.
No one has ever won at this age, and no one has ever won 4 in a row.
Now the other question I wanted to ask you is, with the recent popularity in MMA,
Yes.
people always say like fighters who follow multiple disciplines are the ones who benefit the most.
That's right.
So how does this affect karate? How do you all face the challenge? For example, if an MMA guy challenges you for a fight, what would you do?
That's a great question. Well, the beauty of MMA is really it's a combination of long range, close range, trapping range, and on the floor fighting. So it's not that karate, taekwondo, or kung fu are not good, but we take the strengths of karate, strengths of taekwondo, strength of kung fu and jiu-jitsu and put it together. This is really the best thing. It's mixed martial arts.
So now you've been in the martial arts business for a really long time.
Yes.
Have you gone into street fights?
Yes, I have. And don't get into street fights. I'm just saying that I have been. Street fights are very dangerous in the sense that they're different than sport, though, because in street fights, you're not fighting one-on-one, and you're not fighting the same kilograms. You might be fighting multiple fighters, and they might even have weapons. So street fighting is much different. Same principles of fighting, but definitely very dangerous.
I also hear that you're a weapons specialist. What weapons do you specialize in?
I'm a weapons specialist. I studied nunchaku, tonfa, staff, sword, whip chain, even throwing stars like ninjas. My specialty in the film business was the fight choreographer and the weapons specialist. So I've had a lot of fun with that.
So you're a complete fighter. If I punch you, what would you do?
If you punch me, it will not be good for you.
Whoa, that was great.